Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Thundercat here, and I have the great pleasure today to sit here and interview the one, the only Masterclass. What's up, Masterclass? How's it going?
Oh, it's going great, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, for those of you who don't know who Masterclass is, I'm going to go through your credentials here, all right?
By all means.
You're a certified hypnotist,
That's correct.
and you're also a martial artist.
That's correct.
How many black belts you got?
3.
3 black belts. You're certified in handwriting analysis, right?
I'm not quite certified, but I've studied it extensively. The only thing I never did was finish the actual written exam. I'm going to talk to Bart about that, though.
Okay. And you're also an Eastern medical guy, right?
That is correct.
Which means that you do what?
I do acupuncture and oriental medicine, herbology, massage, body work. Other than the topic of this particular interview?
Well, we're getting to that.
At this particular moment, no. I think that pretty much covers it.
Oh, you also do a good Johnny Depp impersonation, don't
I
you?
do, mate.
Captain Jack Sparrow here.
And the chicks love it. Trust me on that.
I'll take your word.
Dude, I could deconstruct it for you, tell you why they love it.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, on top of that big resume you got there, there's also the fact that you are pretty much an expert in sexual mastery.
That would be true.
Now, in your own words, what exactly is sexual mastery?
Sexual mastery is the ability to take any woman that you're with and take her to levels of orgasm and pleasure that she's never known, and to do it in a very, very quick way, and in such a way that you become pretty much the ultimate amusement park ride in her mind. When I use my techniques, and my techniques evolved basically as a natural byproduct of just my adventures in various lifestyles and things like that. But I noticed that after a certain sequence of techniques, I started to get these really, really strong responses. And not only that, these people started buying me things. I mean, they'd go out of their way to please me in any way I could imagine. And that's a byproduct of being able to do the techniques that we're going to talk about later on. But sexual mastery, to me, is the ability to figure out any woman's pleasure code and press it multiple times. And when you do that, you raise your status or your stock in her eyes to the point where nobody can compare. I tell the women I sleep with, go out and sleep with other men because I know you'll be back.
That's a pretty powerful frame.
Yeah, but it's one that's it's verifiable. I mean, I will go into story after story throughout the interview, and I have no issues with that at all. I have no insecurities about it because I came from the swinging community where everybody's banging the girl you're with and you're banging theirs, and I'm the one who kept getting the return visits. So.
So basically, let's start talking about some of the stuff that you yourself have pioneered and that you're going to start sharing with people in this upcoming book of yours. Now, let's start with the most obvious choice. Let's start with getting a girl to sleep with you. Like, let's just start with the very basics for guys out there who maybe can get it up to that point but have a hard time getting to the point where they can close the deal.
Okay, well, what point are we at? Do we have full kinesthetics, or what do we have?
Yeah, let's say that it's towards the end of the date.
Okay.
It's ready to start escalating.
All right, well, you usually start with a kiss goodnight, which is usually, depending on the personality of the one. I've closed women where, I walked her to her car, and I looked her in the eye and goes, well, it's that time. It's time for the kiss. Are you ready? And she goes, lay it on me. And I do right then and there, And I think that the first kiss is a big, big factor.
Now, do you have any tactics or secrets when it comes to kissing other than practice makes perfect or something like that?
The first thing is, when I go for the kiss, and I've seen this on a couple of other people's sex sites and things like that, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. It's to me, the best way is when you're going for the kiss, cup her face in your hands. And do the first kiss gently, because this is where you deconstruct a little bit. What you're doing on the first kiss, aside from trying to make her knees buckle, which is the ultimate goal. If you can kiss a woman and make her knees buckle, you're ready. She's done. She's going to do whatever you want her to do at that point. But what you really want to focus on when you go for the kiss is you want to kiss her lightly, and the reason is you want to get an idea of how she kisses, because that's going to tell you how to mirror it back to her. See, I've kissed women who are fish kissers, which I hate, but people tend to project onto their partners or the people they're around the way they view the world, which is how they view things as being right or wrong for them. And they tend to do to you what they want done to them. So by figuring out how do they kiss and kissing them that way, you send them a powerful message. Because if she's kissing you, she's already got rapport. Now you're taking it to a physical level. You're taking it to a deep sensual level by kissing her back the way she kisses you. And the whole palm on the face thing, the hands on the face, that's just magic. I can't tell you how many women I've done that to on the first kiss, and their knees just buckled.
Now, is it both hands or just one hand?
I tend to use both. and I'll cup the cheek and perhaps the back of the head, and I'll pull her into me. You might even do the hitch method, which is the 90-10, but yeah.
90% of the way in, and she does the other 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those who didn't see that.
One of the things that I like to go for, if you really want to know if she's into you, watch how big her pupils get. The more they dilate, the more she's into you.
The more they dilate, the more that she's into you.
I have one girl that I'm doing right now. When she looks at me, her irises disappear. It's nothing but black.
Now, why is that?
Well, there's different theories on it, but I think I was reading a book on body language. Actually, it was quite a while ago, and they were saying that there's a subconscious response to see more of you, or desire to see more of you. From a medical perspective, it goes back to stimulation of the autonomic nervous system. When you get super stressed out, the eyes dilate, and when you get super excited, the eyes dilate. So really, a lot of the responses, whether you're in a fight or flight mode or whether you're in a happy, excited mode, a lot of them are the same physiological responses. It's just what emotion is driving it, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
All right, so you got the kiss, okay, and then you drag her into the bedroom from there.
Sometimes, depending on what they really want. Usually, once I've gauged her responses, that's when I'll pull her into me. That's when I'll put my arms around her waist and I'll really do the whole Red Butler Scarlet type of a kiss.
Yeah, bend her over and kiss her. I mean, not bend her over, but
I'll bend her over later.
Yeah, tilt her back and then kiss her.
Yeah. I've done that on a couple of things and they swoon. I mean, guys, if you've never kissed a woman and had her swoon, there is nothing like that feeling in the world.
Big ego trip, I'm sure.
Oh my god. It's like that makes your night right there because pretty much once you get a woman swooning, you basically write your own ticket because she's up for anything you want to do at that point, as long as you don't violate her values right off the bat.
Hear that, guys? As long as you don't violate her values right away. That doesn't mean that you'll be able to not do it later.
Well, what happens is as she gets more and more into you and you go through some of the techniques in the order that I talk about them, her values become extraordinarily malleable. And that means that a lot of things she told you she wasn't willing to do prior to your first one or two couplings, she becomes quite open to very quickly.
And that's some of the dark stuff that we're going to be getting into a little bit later.
Yeah, I was hesitant to talk about this stuff, but you kind of talked me into it.
Yeah,
that's not just marketing, folks. Trust me.
We do have to preface this with a bit of a warning because when you guys try this stuff, you will experience some of what David's going to talk about.
Oh my God.
And they're problems, but I'm sure they're going to be problems that every guy wishes he had.
It's funny. You hear guys like Mark Cunningham talk about how women would break down his door or jump the fences to get into his house at all hours of the night. And one of the things that happens is that once you understand how to unlock, if you've ever seen the Star Trek movies, you ever talk about the prefix code, go see The Wrath of Khan, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Once you understand how to do that, and you can do it not just on a mental level, which is hypnotic in a sense, but the approach I take isn't through hypnosis in the conventional sense. It's all through sexual technique and understanding how to manage the emotions and states that she's going through.
Yeah. And we're going to get into that in just a little bit. So we got her kissing, we're taking her into the bedroom. Now let's start talking about some of the more specific techniques. In particular, let's start with the thing every guy starts with, the clit.
The clit.
So why don't you talk about some of your clitoral strategy on
like clitoral strategies?
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to the clit, less is more. And what I mean by that is, first of all, the clit is the bullseye. We all know that, okay? It's the panic button. But remember, there's other places in the vagina that are just as sensitive. And can give her actually a stronger and different type of orgasm. And David Shea talks a lot about that when he talks about the deep spot and he talks about squirting. But there were some points that in his seminar that he didn't quite get to, basically because of time, I think. But when we talk about the clit, the first thing is don't go for the clit directly. Never go for the clit directly. With women, it's all about build-up. It's all about anticipation. It's all about teasing. There's a certain guy who teaches this thing called rapid romance. And he talks about a certain pattern called the blowjob pattern.
He who shall not be named.
Yes. And he talks about, in that pattern, how you take that first morsel of food and you tease your tongue with it.
Yeah, let's not do the whole pattern.
I'm not gonna do it. But I'm real good at deconstructing things so you can understand the driving force underneath it. What it is women are all about the build-up. They're all about turning it up degree by degree by degree. And when it comes to the clit, you can amp up a woman before you ever get to the clit. by working around the areas that are very sensitive but aren't right on the clit, because they're anticipating, is he going to touch it? Is he going to lick it? What's he going to do next? So the inside of the thighs, the labia, the lips, the areas around the clitoris, work those, kiss them, nibble them, suck them, stroke them. Work those, and as you get closer and closer, if you're paying attention to her responses, every time you get a little bit closer to the clit, you'll feel her body tense or stiffen, because she's expecting that rush, that little sudden stimulation. And then you back off, and she's like, oh my God. And every time you get a little closer, it's kind of like sexual fractionation. In hypnosis, we talk about if you put someone in trance, bring them out and put them back in again, the next time they go into trance, they go deeper. Same thing here. When you bring a woman and you start amping up her state, and you back off, and you bring her up again and get a little bit closer this time, she gets more and more aroused. That's how it works. So when you go, by the time you actually get to the clit, she's primed. Now, it doesn't mean she's going to come right away, but your chances of getting her off faster and harder go up substantially. And when you actually get to the clit, this is where a technique I like to call the secret twitch comes in. Okay? Now, depending on how you're going to stimulate the clit will determine when you want to use this technique. You can do it orally, you can do it with your fingers. Okay? The last thing I ever do is stick my dick in a woman. She's usually come 3 or 4 times, usually 3.
Now, I want to take this opportunity to point that out as a golden rule. One of Master Class's big rules is always make a girl come 2 or 3 times before she even sees your dick, and he swears by this rule.
I absolutely live by this rule.
Yeah, and I tell you guys, this is a golden rule if you want to become the kind of sexual master where you have women breaking down your door to have sex with you on this one. This one is really important. So listen to this again, rewind it if you have to. In fact, I'll say it again so you don't have to rewind it. Make her come 2 to 3 times before she even sees your dick. Not even stick your dick in her, before she even sees it. Okay, so if you got to put a sock on that thing and keep it hidden until until the pump has been primed.
Yeah. Right. And the psychology behind this is, okay, if you've paid any attention to what David Shade talks about. By the way, my name's David too. I'm not going to give my last name because I'm just modest that way. But David he gives some interesting statistics in his seminar. I think he does it in his book. He says that 30% of all women have never had an orgasm. Ever. None. Okay? 30%. 3 out of 10. 3 out of every 10. The other 70% have never had an orgasm during sex, during intercourse. Okay? Now, think about this for a minute. If you give a woman 3 orgasms